and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the dreaded UCAT exam. I'm going to be doing a few videos about the UCAT exam, but today, as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be focusing more on what you guys should do and shouldn't do when it comes to preparing for this exam, because I myself made a few mistakes when I was preparing for this exam that I hope to share with you guys so you can learn from it and don't make the same mistake. And I will also share the things that I learned that did really work for me, and hopefully you guys will benefit from it as well. So I'm just gonna get into the don'ts first, because these are things that I really regret doing, and it's a big mistake on my part, but I did learn a lot from them. The first don't is do not invest your time or money in these UCAT classes. So there are some really big companies like Kaplan who offer these tutorial classes that can last 1 to 2 days, where you sit down and they teach you different strategies about how to go through the UCAT exam. Now I'm going to be making another more detailed video as to why this was such a waste of time for me, but just to keep this short, I spent about £300 on the Kaplan tutorial, and the only benefit that I got from that tutorial classes was literally the book. The book is not worth £300. The book, however, is really good. I know that online and on their websites they really sell it. All the reviews were saying that people were achieving like 2,800 on their UCAT exam, and it was all thanks to the Kaplan tutorial. So I really fell for that, and I really thought it was gonna help me, and I didn't really care about how much money it would cost. And I'm sure you guys are in the same situation where you don't really care about how much money or time or effort because you're so desperate to do really well in the UCAT exam. And I totally get you guys, but you really should use your time and effort wisely and not waste your time with these classes, because you can honestly get these resources for free, which I'll talk about in my do's. My second don't is do not buy this book. I know it's the most typical UCAT book that a lot of people do recommend to purchase and say that it's really good, but from my own personal experience, I found it an absolute waste of time. I've bought that book twice because I've done the UCAT exam twice now, and each time I was preparing for the UCAT exam, it never came in handy. In fact, I would actually say that book is the reason why I didn't do well the first time round I did the UCAT exam. Now, this book fully relies on the idea that they give you extremely hard practice questions in the book. And the reason for this is to get you prepared to answer really hard questions and get your brain power going. So then when you actually go and sit down the actual exam ends up being so easy. Like, you end up doing amazing in the UCAT exam because you practice really hard questions. But to be honest, it just doesn't work that way. It's not the same as the actual UCAT exam at all. The format of it just doesn't get you prepared with the actual layout of the UCAT exam. And the whole point of the UCAT exam really is to practice your time management, which you can't really do when you're practicing these really difficult questions. So I would try to avoid those kind of books. Now, the third don't is do not burn out. Now, when I was doing my UCAT exam the first time round, I did treat it like an academic exam, and it's really easy to fall under this trap. And the reason is because you guys probably haven't done an aptitude test before, and this is all very new to you guys, and you think that putting more time and more effort into revising for the UCAT exam will equal results the same way as your GCSE and A-level exams went. But that simply is not the case, because like I said, this is an aptitude test. Now, an aptitude test is testing your mental math ability, your problem solving ability. These are all things that you can't really revise for, but you can practice. Now, this is what typically happens if you give yourself a bit too much time to revise for the exam. So let's say you start off revising day one, you're not doing that great, you notice that your results aren't that great, but slowly with more and more practice and effort and time, you're doing better and better, and you'll reach a peak stage where you're doing amazing and you're really proud of yourself and the scores that you're achieving. Now, at this peak stage, this is when you're meant to be taking the exam. However, if you've given yourself too much time to revise for this exam, like 3 months, you will start burning out and your performance will go down. And there are actually a lot of YouTubers online that actually talk about this and talk about burnout when it comes to the UCAT exam. So I really, really recommend not giving yourself too much time to revise for the exam. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to what you guys should do. So I know I mentioned that the tutorials were an absolute waste of time, especially the Kaplan one, but I will say the book is amazing, and if you really want to find a good resource to teach you the best strategies when it comes to tackling each type of question in the UCAT exam, I do really highly recommend the Kaplan book. This is the book that I used when I was doing the exam. So I did my second exam in 2018. The reason why the Kaplan book is so good is because it gives you practice questions, it teaches you the different strategies, and it also teaches you how to better manage your time when it comes to this exam. The second do is something that most of you guys have probably already heard of. I mean, if you haven't, you've probably been living under a rock, because I don't know how you haven't heard of Medify. So Medify is such a brilliant website, and it has so many practice questions on there. It's on a computer, so you can really get that feel of what the UCAT exam is really like. You can practice and learn quick keyboard techniques for you to skip on to the next question really fast. It's just a really brilliant way to practice for the UCAT exam, because it is more like the actual exam. You can also see your progress over time. It will tell you which area to work more on than the other. You can time yourself with certain questions and not time yourself with others just to practice. So honestly, Medify is so worth it. If you haven't heard that already, I don't know. What you guys should also do is look at your resources on YouTube. YouTube is such a brilliant platform. You can find any information that you want on there, and there are some really amazing people that go through each question step by step and teach you guys specific strategies when it comes to the exam. Karma Medic is a brilliant example, so definitely check YouTube out with people going through the questions, and this is for free, and then you don't have to pay crazy money for these tutorials that are just not worth it, like I said. And that's it for my video. I hope you guys found that somewhat useful. Good luck to anyone who's doing the UCAT exam this year. I'm sure you guys will ace it. Bye. I really thought I didn't really care really well in the, but you really should really good. Can't really do what's really difficult. It's really easy to really, when you're really proud, really recommend. You really want to really get that really like, really amazing.
Really